I was happy. Mother and father took care of me. I was always a low-maintenance child. I didn't want for much. I didn't demand much. When Mother became pregnant, my parents seemed overjoyed at first. A new life joining our family. But not all was what it seemed. Mother and father rejoiced at the idea in front of friends, family, loved ones. I watched as mother and father made changes to their house to prepare for the new arrival. When mother and father were around each other, they seemed so happy. But father didn't see what I saw. When father was gone, mother cried. She would hold me close and would wail about how she never wanted this. She said I was the only child she ever desired. She went on to say how she wanted things to stay the way they were. She knew I wouldn't say anything to father about this. As the months passed, my parents planned for the arrival, a whole room set aside for the little leech. When Susie arrived, all seemed well. Father originally seemed skeptical about allowing me in the room at night, but mother convinced him. I waited until I knew father would relax a little, lower his guard. I crept into Susie's room, quietly, so as to not wake mother and father. I crawled into the crib with Susie. I watched her sleep, her breathing constant. I placed my hands over her face. It took a minute, but her eyes popped open, and she started to panic. I forced my hands against her face with all the force I could muster. She squirmed, wiggled, but at her age I was stronger. She slowed her struggles, and eventually stopped. I held my hands to her face for a few moments. When I was sure, I relaxed them. Smiling, I laid down next to her. Hours later, father came into the room. I still remember his screaming as he saw his precious Susie, cold and blue. He scooped her up and frantically ran out of the room. I heard him call 911. Mother came in shortly after, tears running down her cheeks. She scooped me up, glancing over her shoulder towards the doorway that her husband had just left. She looked at me and smiled, brushing the tears away. "Thank you," she whispered. I purred.